All right, perfect. So, yeah, so like I mentioned, we'll be talking about self-love and self-care. So what, okay, sorry. So what are they? So self-love is how we cultivate gratitude and acceptance towards ourselves, physically and emotionally. And self-care is the action. So how we take action to improve or maintain our physical, mental, and our emotional health. So diving in deeper to them. So with self-love, it means that you accept yourself fully, you treat yourself with kindness and respect, and you nurture your growth and well-being. It is what you would do for yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you feel about yourself, that reflects that love and concern that you have for yourself. It's also the foundation that allows us to be assertive, to set the boundaries that we need, to be able to create healthy relationships with others, allowing ourselves to practice self-care, taking that time for ourselves, and pursuing our interests and goals, as well as feeling proud of who we are and what we've accomplished. So it's important to try to cultivate that self-love, because when we aren't practicing or trying to have that self-love, it's likely that we fall into that self-criticism, people pleasing, or perfectionism tendencies. We might be more likely to tolerate people to either, mistreat us, or if they're not respecting our boundaries, we won't be assertive in communicating those. We might neglect our own needs, putting others' needs before our own, or not value ourselves. So that's why it's important to be very mindful and try improving that self-love. Because when you love yourself, you don't necessarily have to be overall just positive all the time, because definitely there's going to be times when you feel angry or upset or disappointed, but that shouldn't change how you feel about yourself, right? So for example, with family or friends, we love them, but sometimes they're going to annoy us or they're going to make us angry, but we still love them regardless, right? So that's kind of the same with ourselves, is recognizing that sometimes we will make mistakes, and just being able to have that self-compassion for ourselves in those times. So how to cultivate self-love, being mindful. So recognizing how you're feeling, what it is it that you need in the moment, meeting those needs if we can, practicing good self-care, which we'll get into later, and allowing yourself to take that time for yourself to unwind, to relax, to recharge, setting boundaries, whether it's for yourself, with others, and relationships, and protecting yourself, whether there's relationships that you feel aren't really helping, or are making you feel more drained than not, being able to either set a boundary or letting go of that person. Forgiving yourself, again, there's sometimes that self-criticism that comes up, so being able to forgive yourself with whatever mistakes you make, or if something happens, practicing that self-compassion, and then just living intentionally. So what does self-love look like? Some examples would be saying positive things to yourself. So those positive affirmations, giving yourself compliments, being your own hype person, forgiving yourself when you mess up, like I mentioned, meeting your own needs, being assertive, not letting others take advantage of you, prioritizing your own health and well-being, asking for help, spending time around people who support and build you up, recognizing your strengths, valuing your feelings, validating and acknowledging your feelings, making healthy choices, and pursuing your interests, challenging yourself, and the list goes on. So self-love can look different for many people, and you can practice it in different ways too. But it's a lot of being mindful of what you're feeling, and just taking that in a non-judgmental way. And I feel like I get this asked too with, okay, well, how can I be practice self-love but not come off as being selfish, or being a narcissist? So they're completely opposite, actually. So when you're practicing self-love, it's it's about being honest and just having an authentic appreciation of oneself. So it's very self-focused, right? It doesn't prevent you from caring about others. It simply means that you're giving yourself the space and the kindness that you're giving others. Whereas with narcissism, or if you're being selfish or whatnot, it's about proving that you're better than someone else or than everyone else and making sure that others are seeing you as what you're trying to portray, but not really working towards being that person. They lack empathy for others and they won't acknowledge or take responsibility for their mistakes and flaws. And they're craving constantly validation from others. Whereas with self love, you're trying to accept and feel validated by yourself. You give yourself the validation you need. And you also recognize that it's okay to feel uncertain or doubt yourself now and then. And again, forgiving yourself if and when there's mistakes. So those are the differences of how those appear. So how can we put then self-love into practice? Yeah. So just to get started, you can identify just one loving thing that you can do for yourself, whether it's you want to start today or tomorrow. And it could be either just practicing affirmations, positive affirmations, journaling, or doing something more that's action-based, which we'll talk about the self-care here in a bit. Next, just write down what you're going to do and when you'll do it. So schedule some time for that and just hold yourself accountable. So writing it down increases that accountability. And it's just a practice. Self-love definitely is a journey and it's something that you have to try to make a habit of it so it grows stronger. And if you feel like you do have a lot of self-criticism, the more you practice it, the more you cultivate it, then hopefully this voice, this positive self-talk, self-love voice will be louder than that self-criticism voice that we sometimes can have, than those self-defeating thoughts. Um, so then self-care goes, it's very important in helping us with that self-love. So with self-care, practicing self-care can help us manage the ups and downs of life. It refers to either our favorite activities that can help us relax, have fun, something that just helps us feel energized and recharged. And it's more than just an occasional treat. So sometimes people can view self-care as, going shopping or buying yourself this thing that you really wanted, going out to eat to your favorite place, which all of that is pretty nice, but it's not something that you can do every day. So self-care can be just the small things too that you can do for yourself that help you feel refreshed again and re-energized and just rested. So it's important to practice this daily, even if it's just for 15 minutes a day, because it will help decrease stress and it will also then help not have us be burnt out. So how do we practice self-care? So a few things that we can do. Sleep. So sleep is a very, very important part of it. If you were to just focus on, okay, I'm just going to focus on my sleep this week, or you're going to make sure you're getting a certain amount of sleep, you're going to have a regular bedtime, wake up time, and having a nighttime routine that helps you unwind from the day and getting ready for bed. You practice that a week, you'll notice improvement in your energy, improvement in your mood. So just focusing on sleep will do really, really great things then for yourself too. Napping. So I know naps are very nice too, and they can help us recharge and improve our energy levels, but you want to make sure that you're not sleeping more than that you need to, because that can impact that can impact your sleep at night. And then exercise, so moving your body. Research shows that exercise can relieve stress, it can improve our mood and help us sleep better. And then doing something you love. So with self-care, it's trying to see what we really enjoy doing, whether it's hanging out with a friend or just our own personal hobbies and passions. Or it could be something small with like crafting or coloring or drawing, just something that we love and enjoy and can do. Again, something that's just for 15 minutes is enough. Hanging out with friends and family, practicing mindfulness, doing some breathing, practicing grounding exercises. So that also can help reduce stress. And again, we're wanting to make sure that we're taking care of our mind and body so we don't burn out. And then smiling. So research has shown that smiling, even if you don't feel like it, can change your mood because our brain cannot tell the difference between a real smile and a fake smile. So practicing some of that. And then one thing I know people come across is, well, okay, well, how do I make time for self-care, right? As a student, I know you have really, really busy schedules with classes and meetings and homework and work and everything. So literally trying to block off a time in your schedule or finding little windows throughout the day that you can practice some self-care. It could be, so for example, if you arrive to a class or a meeting 10 minutes early, seeing what you can use those 10 minutes for to just help yourself unwind, whether it's, if you like music, playing some music then for those 10 minutes, doing some breathing while you're sitting, or coloring if you like coloring or drawing. So really being mindful of those little times that we have, or those small windows that we have throughout the day. And then some people can you use the power hour method, either all together where you really just block off an hour in your day, or you split it up 20 minutes around your day. So with the power hour method, you want to focus on your 3 different things. So on your mind, your body, and your soul. So it would be, for example, 20 minutes of reading, feeding yourself some knowledge, or listening to a podcast. 20 minutes for your body would be going for a walk, or going to the gym. And then 20 minutes for your soul could be the mindfulness and meditation that we talked about too. So kind of breaking it down in that way. And when we hit different areas of self-care, that also can just help us feel just balanced. And then these next slides, I found this article, and I'm sure you've all heard of like the 5 love languages. It's geared toward partners or other relationships, but there's a way that we can also then apply that to ourselves. So if you know your own love language, seeing how you can do some of these things for yourself to show that self-love, and then also practice some of the self-care. So these next few slides will be targeting both the self-love and the self-care. So for example, the love language of words of affirmation. So thinking of self-love, so practicing those daily affirmations, reciting some mantras that encourage self-compassion, bringing the attention to being good to ourselves, right? Journaling about our strengths, about something we're grateful for, seeing what we accomplished that day, what we're proud of, what made us feel happy, just anything that you want. And then keeping our self-talk positive. So being mindful again of what we're saying to ourselves, what our thoughts are, and if we notice that we are being critical of ourselves, trying to turn, like it says, turn down the volume of that, and see how we can be our coach or our cheerleader, our hype person. The next one would be the acts of service. So this one would kind of lean more towards that self-care, where we can prepare healthy meals for ourselves, put thoughts into grocery shopping or what we're preparing for meals, create an organized and clean and aesthetically pleasing home environment, whether it's your room or how you set up your desk area, just feeling comfortable in it. Scheduling regular physical, dental, and mental health checkups, so taking care of our body, of our physical health, and then grooming ourselves with love and care. So putting ourselves together so that we feel like the beautiful person that you are. So getting up early if you need to, and just getting ready for the day. And then the other one would be receiving gifts. So this one could be buying only what we love. So we also don't want to buy a whole bunch of different things that we don't necessarily need. We can gift ourselves an experience, of course, budgeting for it. So this could be one of those things that's like for a semester, for the year kind of thing. Investing in our education or advancement. So if there's something, so you're already pursuing a degree, but if there is a cooking class or a Zumba class that you want to join into. You want to learn how to be a yoga instructor, just something that will add to yourself. That could be a form of a gift for yourself or your knowledge. And then treating yourself to wisdom and perspective gained from travel. So seeing if you can just visit places. I know that there's people that kind of set like visiting different areas in Omaha, and that doesn't require a lot of budgeting, so that can be an experience in itself. And then quality time. So being present with self-love. You set a time daily for mindfulness practices, kind of what we mentioned with the self-care, blocking some time for that self-care, making time for leisure and hobbies, prioritizing sleep and exercise, and do not overschedule, overbook, or overcommit. So again, I know as students, you are super busy, but realizing when you do have to say no to something else that comes up, if it's with a friend or even sometimes with family, like, no, I cannot come home this weekend, or I'm not able to hang out tonight, I can't go to dinner tonight, how about this other day instead? So being okay with having to be assertive and advocate for yourself. And then physical touch. So stretching your muscles, giving yourself a massage with a foam roller, relaxing into your body, releasing toxins by taking a hot bath, releasing stress and soaking the love. Moisturize your skin with lotions or oils, especially during this cold weather. Make sure that we are taking care of ourselves and giving yourself a spa treatment. And again, this could be something just at home. You can give yourself manicure, pedicure, doing some face masks, deep conditioning treatment. So whatever it is that you want, you can, again, just practice it at home. So those are just some ways of targeting all those love languages on our own for ourselves. And towards the end then here, so I just put a random list of healthy activities that we can do. Again, self-care doesn't have to be something big. It can be something small, like I think somewhere it said like lighting a candle of your favorite scent. So yeah, just something for you to have and kind of look into if you need help brainstorming. And some other things I added then were just some tools that I thought were nice to have. So there's a self-compassion scale. So you take the scale and you can kind of see, where it is that your compassion is. Like, do you have a lot of like that inner criticism, self-talk? So you can take that, see where you're at, see where you have to improve, and then there's a self-care assessment. So that one you can see how your self-care is right now. Where are you engaging? How are you allowing yourself to engage in? Then there's the self-compassion letter activity. So they were saying that it's nice to kind of do this letter for ourselves at least once a month, just having it be more of a check-in, see how we're doing, how we're feeling, how we've been this past month. And then since it's February, there's this self-love journal challenge. So this website just posted different prompts that you can do every day for this month. And it could be something like, I think if I remember, like, what did I do to show myself self-love today? And you kind of just reflect on that. What did you do today? So each day we'll give you a prompt for you to reflect on it. If you really do want to grab a journal and just write about it, that can also be helpful. And then just some mental health and crisis resources. So of course, with CAPS, our phone number, 554-2409. If and when you are interested in therapy, you can give us a call, schedule an appointment with us. If and when you ever find yourself in a crisis, and if it's after hours, so after 5 or during the weekends, you can call our office number and then press 2, and that connects you with our after hours therapist. And then some other resources there. So I will stop sharing my screen and see if you guys have any questions. Let me stop this.